What sucks about being your age? When you finally understand what Mark Twain meant when he said youth is wasted on the young. Edit. Quote is from George Bernard Shaw, or maybe Oscar Wilde. When you're too young to understand, but know damn well has right and you're gonna wish you knew lol. It's one of those, before you know it, you'll be my age boy kinda things. I turned 29 this year and just realized a year or two ago like, damn, where has life gone? Feels like I should still be in first year of college, or just graduating. Whereas 6 to 7 years as a 12-year-old is like an eternity. Ha 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 ha, that's life in a nutshell my boy. My body is starting feel the aches and pains older people have told me about. It's not terrible, just really annoying. How old are you? I was at work sitting on my comfortable chair earlier this week. I turned my torso slightly to the right and pulled a muscle in my back that I didn't even know was there. I'm 44 years old. Once your friends start getting married and having kids, shit becomes lonely. Yep. Doesn't help when you move 3,000 miles and don't know anyone. Especially now since I can't even socialize with new people and I've made very few legitimate friends out here. Edit. I'm a woman, but thanks everyone. All you dudes are solid people and I appreciate the sympathy, advice, and kind words. Making friends as an adult is hard. There's no obligation to spend enough time with other people to become friendly, unless you join a club which feels lame and weird, but does actually work. If it helps, we are all horribly lonely right now. Mid to late 20s. Feeling like I'm way behind from where I should be by now. That never goes away. Best case scenario is you become at peace with where you are in life, and between the happy moments you still fleetingly think about what could've been. No one is completely satisfied. Carry it but not yet old enough to be fully progressed in your career and you make most of your money between 40 and 60 years about that. Getting there at least. I had a coworker say he felt this way about turning 30, but then someone changed his mind by saying that he's old enough to know who he is and what he wants and needs, but still young enough to do things with his life and have fun. IDK if this helps, I'm only 18, so I wouldn't know. This is exactly how I feel, 31. I felt so lost for the longest time, trying to figure out who I was. I put myself through some shit and I have experienced a lot. Now I just do stuff I love doing, and I care a lot less about what people think of me. I'm even more active than I was in my 20s, was playing on 3 different sports teams pre-COVID, and in my 20s I was very lazy and mostly high. I know this is just my experience though, and it can be much different for others. Just turned 33. Where's the stacks at? The new hires are children and the managers are ready for the Grim Reaper. Stuck in the no man's land that is your 30s. I'm not sure if this happens with all people my age, but I'm 18 and people, specifically my parents and close family members, but not limited to them, will use the "you're 18, you're legally an adult, you need to be doing these things on your own" whenever it will work in their favor, then immediately go back to "you're still just a teenager" / "you're still my kid" whenever. I try to be even the slightest bit independent. I'm 18 as well, and while no one straight up tells me that I need to get it together, I always feel that pressure. Then I go for a walk and my mom calls me worried if I'm gone for over an hour. It's just a super weird time. I'm 29. 5 couples from my friend's circle are expecting a child or recently got married. A few others have built a solid foundation in their career and are buying houses. Most of us grew up in apartment buildings, so it feels fancy to own a house at 30 where I'm from. Meanwhile, I'm currently a student and broke. It feels like everyone's so far ahead in life that they'll always be a step further and I'll never catch up. This is why I've largely abandoned social media. If I find out some big news about someone via social media, most often I don't care about it much, because they're probably just someone I know, or barely even that. Big news from someone a little closer are usually said in person, and those are the ones I care about. I've been seeing people getting married and pregnant for years on my Facebook feed, but suddenly it's all my close friends or someone I hang out with at least occasionally telling me about their big news. I guess that's why it made me feel a little weird. You're right though, not much good comes out of following social media too closely. Being retired, the two things that really suck are 1. Watching good friends pass away yearly. 2. Having to push through the aches and pains of old age to do the things you enjoy. But I realize that I'm luckier than many of my friends who have had hip, knee, or shoulder replacements or open heart surgery. But your second point is important to keep your mobility. My grandparents basically hung it up at 70 and sat on the porch all day every day and started really slowing down in their 80s to the point that both needed a cane and then a walker. My grandma is still alive at 93, but lives in assisted living and sometimes struggles even with a walker. My dad just turned 70 this year, but still plays tennis 2 to 3 times a week and box ball twice a week, and still takes on most of the housework. When he retired at 58, he stopped moving and got bad arthritis and back pain and had to be told at physical therapy that he has to keep moving or it'll just get worse. I'm 25 and the whole existential dread of figuring out what to do with my life is probably the worst part of things. Oh yeah, that doesn't go away. Part of this wonderful adventure we get to have. Worst part is that your mid-20s feels like where you make it or break it. Some of my old friends are absolutely killing it, making 6-figure salaries, have houses, nice cars, pets, all that. While here I'm scraping by feeling like a complete failure because I took way longer to take life seriously and get through school. Now I'm way behind in the corporate ladder and feeling like I really screwed up somewhere. Final year student in 2020. Fuck you corona. Dude, this rona shit fucked my grades. Nobody likes you when you're 23. Being constantly horny and hormonal. Yes, I also relate as a male between the ages of 12 and a billion. I'm old enough that I should have my shit together, but I'm too young to have my shit together. Being sore because I slept wrong. I'm expected to act like an adult, but get treated like a child. I'm 17. Edit. Wow, my first silver. Thank you, kind stranger. I'm too old to take up most action sports. The body doesn't bounce back like it used to. That shit's real. And too young to retire and just fuck off all the time. When I was late teens to mid-20s, I used to make fun of my dad cause his not being able to read small print newspaper etc. Of course letters were blurry. He would ask me, Steve, read that for me, it's too blurry. I come out and say to him, what's the matter, too old, your eyes can't make out small print? His reply be, you just wait, you fucker get my age, you will go same shit. Well, some 15 or so years later I had some blueprints out on table. Concrete construction I do. Had some details I couldn't make out. So I, Jesse, come here, can you tell me what that says? And I be a motherfucker, my son's reply was, you getting too old, dad can't read. That moment years back of me telling my dad pop up and thinking if what my dad told me going happened to me one day. He was just saying that he is okay not to forget about him from the grave. Love you, Pops, I'm sure your eyesight is better. Balding, back pain, bad vision. I'm 23. Wrinkle cream and acne cream. Being 50, I better find something good. Being 21. Feel pressure to save money before I move out on my own. Bills, rent, textbooks, tuition, etc. Went to community college, paid tuition, and lived at home. Still very hormonal despite not being a teen anymore, and I'm horny and depressed all the time. At least I can drink. Edit. Just wanted to thank all of you for the great advice. I appreciate it so much. Being 1 year closer to death than I was last year. At 73 I'm reminded daily by my body that I'm not 25 years old anymore. I'm 2 months from being a legal adult. The suspense is killing me /s. 2 economic recessions when I'm supposed to be building my life. Dulled emotions. Being a teenager had some very low lows, but the highs also felt higher. Now I'm in a constant state of apathy. It's so hard to try to find love. My body is starting to fail me, and no matter what I can do, I can really only watch. Too old to be relevant, but too young to be taken seriously. 26. Everyone fucking asking what you're doing with your life. I don't know. I don't want to talk about jobs. How old are you? I'm 20 and I mean 30. 22, graduated college into a pandemic. Old enough to start to hurt and ache, but supposedly I have another 30 years of productivity in me. I have a perfectly clean driving record and over 6 years of never missing an insurance payment, but the monthly insurance bill is more than my car payment. I've been to 15 different places. It all ranges from $200 to $350 a month, and I'll lose my license if I can't afford it working 9 an hour. I lose my car. I lose my job and apartment. Nearly 60. I forget things all the time. Easy to remember old things, hard to remember new things. I once lost my card in an ATM twice in 1 month. All my passwords have to be written down somewhere, as do the birthdays of my lids. I constantly get fatter, even though I don't eat anymore. I haven't had regular sleep patterns for 20 years. Every day I'm a little more tired. What sucks about being 30 Aishas? Now you actually have to make important decisions you were putting off, like changing career etc. The panic is beginning to set in about what I'm going to do with my life. I also can't stop looking back on decisions I've made that drastically altered my life for the worse. I'm not old, but I'm at an age where I'm wondering what I'm going to do with the years I have left. Recently I wrote out a 10-year plan for where I want to get to, because at this point my entire end game is to end up with a smile on my face in the later years of my life. Too young to own a house. Too old to keep living at my parents'.